You're weird. But I'm also weird. I'm 22 and I dress like this. By choice. We're all weird. And that's okay. Look, I grew up as one of the weirdest kids that has ever weirded. I was a cosplayer. I watched anime. I went to school in cosplay. I had pink hair. I dress like this. And I still do all of those things at 22 and not 14 anymore. And that's okay. It's okay to grow older, and it's okay to keep doing the same hobbies that you do when you're not an adult. And it's also okay to grow out of them. But I wanted to talk today as someone who is an adult, someone who is 22 and was the weird kid. And let me tell you, it's okay to be the weird kid. People are gonna be mean, but it's okay. You should be you. 2025 is a year that doesn't feel like it's real. Like, this feels like some sort of dystopian year. It doesn't feel right. And so I have really been taking this past month to kind of like take a look back at myself over the years. I have been on the internet since I was like 17 years old. I went through a couple different phases. I was cringe before. This is pretty cringe. This is also pretty cringe over here. Pretty cringe, but you know what? I had fun doing it. Like, these photos are kind of cringe, not gonna lie. I look back on them and they're kind of cringe, but genuinely they have some of my best memories. As you can tell, I love Keith. This was my first ever convention. I dabbed with Jesus as Keith Kogane from Voltron. If that's not cringe, I don't know what is. But I had so much fun in these photos. So much fun going to conventions, cosplaying with my friends. Like, we were honestly a bunch of dorky weeb kids, but genuinely it was like the best experience of my life. And as you can tell, Emily was a little bit cringe. I mean, come on, look at the blue hair. Who let her wear that Yuri on Ice shirt? Like, for real? And that's what really matters. So now in my adult years, looking back on my old cringe stuff, I'm really learning to love what I used to do. I stopped cosplaying for a really long time because I was like, oh, I don't look good, and, you know, sometimes people will comment mean things, so, like, maybe it's just not for me anymore. And genuinely, the reason why I quit cosplay is because I was so burnt out by doing cosplay. I was doing cosplay since I was like 14, but I started getting serious when, you know, I was like 17 and I got my first job and I could actually pay for stuff. It was so fun. It was so liberating to finally put money into a hobby that I cared so deeply about. And I was posting it on the internet, and I was starting to grow a little bit on the internet. So that definitely didn't mess up my mental health or anything when it came to hobbies that I like and having to feel like I have to monetize everything that I do. Welcome to being a content creator. But genuinely, over the past couple years, I would look back at my old cosplay stuff and I was like, yeah, no, it's just not me anymore. Like, maybe occasionally I'll cosplay for something, but I don't think I could ever fully get back into it again. I'm trying to get back into it again. And it's not anymore because, oh, I just want to monetize everything, which it is nice to monetize stuff. It is nice to be able to make money off of your silly little goofy hobbies, but that shouldn't be the sole purpose why you're doing it. Genuinely, I'm 22 now. I'm not like 14 anymore. When I started cosplaying, I was 14 and I loved it because I just loved being able to share a community with people who like stuff like me. Like, was the cosplay community perfect then? No. Is it perfect now? Absolutely not. Is it ever going to be perfect? Probably not. But genuinely, the cosplay community was one of the few places on the internet where I felt so validated in, just because there were so many people like me who liked to cosplay characters, who liked to dress up, or even just liked to watch other people do it. It was fun, it was exciting, and I miss that. And it's really got me thinking about stuff that I used to like, because now I'm older, and I look back on myself sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that was cringe. Like, when I started, you know, trying to find out my fashion style, I did stuff like this. And I was like, whoa, but that's cringe. And yeah, it is. I'm 22 now. I'm not 16, 17 anymore. I know who I am. I know what I like. But that doesn't mean that I hated this version of myself. I do like this version of myself. I was just trying to figure out who I was. And I don't feel like I should shame her for that. Because genuinely, Girly Pop was going through a hard time in these photos. The pandemic had started. My senior year was absolutely just obliterated. I did not even go to high school for my final year of school. It was all online because I was 2020 to 2021, and I just did not know what to do. I was so confused with my life because I thought I wanted to go to college. I thought I wanted to do this, but then I decided I didn't want to do this. And so now I'm like, well, what do I want to do? Do I even want to go to college? I spent so many years of my high school life doing my best in school, taking all these AP classes, doing all this work to get a really good GPA, to be able to go into a nice school, a nice college. Did I? No. Instead, I became a YouTuber. I know, such a downgrade. Something that I thought I was absolutely gonna do didn't happen. But I'm okay. The world didn't explode. I'm still here. Am I doing the job that I thought I was gonna do? No, genuinely, I thought I was gonna go into mortuary. Instead, I'm doing YouTube, which is genuinely the thing that I always wanted to do. I remember being 12, thinking, oh my god, I want to be a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber! Did life go according to the plans that I had it? No. But that's okay. I'm still doing the funny, silly, goofy stuff that I did when I was a teenager. Stuff that I got made fun of by, people in school who I know that they would never say it to my face because they were a bunch of wimps and they wouldn't say it to my face whenever, they would talk about me. It's okay, I know. But it's okay. I survived. And I'm here. Did I wear cosplay to school sometimes? Yeah. Was that cringe? Yeah. Did I have fun? Yeah. I had so many good memories of this quote-unquote cringe stuff that I did as a kid. I went to conventions with my friends and I had fun. I made friends via cosplay. I made friends via liking manga and anime. It's brought me closer to people both in real life, in my personal life, but also online. Yeah, to some people it might be cringe, but to me, I've met some of the best people in my life because of this stupid, silly, cringy stuff that I do. I'm someone who I grew up online as a teenager, and I know there's people who are older than me, like YouTubers that I used to watch when I was a preteen teenager, who are now in their 30s. They were roughly my age, early 20s, when I was a preteen, and I watched them, and I was like, oh my god, you are so amazing, I want to be just like you. And now, 10 years later, I see them, and they're like, yeah, that was a really cringy time for me. I get really cringed out when I watch my old content, and I'm like, dude, that's what inspired me. How can you call this cringe? It's one of those things where, of course, you're gonna look back on yourself sometimes, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's cringy, that's embarrassing, but it's okay. Why do we make such a big deal out of it to be cringe? Why does everything have to be cringe? Why can't we just look at something that we do and say, oh, I've grown, instead of, oh, ew, cringe, ew, gross, why did I do that? Why don't we look at this as, I did this thing, it wasn't perfect, but I've learned and I've grown, and maybe I perfected it, maybe I've just stopped. For the longest time, I stopped doing cosplay. I stopped sewing because one, I thought I was too cringy to cosplay. I thought it wasn't good enough for sewing. I wasn't gonna get anywhere with it, so I just gave it up. For what? For what? Genuinely, too many people are scared to be their true, authentic self on the internet, myself included. Sometimes I'm scared. Sometimes I will cosplay. Sometimes I will make a video and I'm like, oh, is this cringe? Is the internet not gonna like this? I feel like genuinely everybody in this day and age is at the point where they're like, I am so scared to be put into a cringe compilation. I better act right or something. Or people will be like, oh yeah, it was just a skit. I wasn't actually doing that. The internet is so mean, is so vile, and so hostile to people that you feel like you have to be this robotic person. But even then, you're still gonna get made fun of. You're still gonna get nasty comments. So you might as well just be yourself. Obviously, there is a line, but genuinely, don't stop what you're doing because people might be mean to you from time to time. They have nothing better to do, so they're being mean online. It's how it is. There are always going to be mean people. You just have to do you. You have to be you. You should not stop being you because a bunch of no-name profiles are telling you that you are cringe. Like I said, I'm 22. I'm going through this like phase in my life where I'm looking back at my past and I'm looking back at the things that I used to do, things that I used to love, things that I was super passionate about, and remembering how I felt about it. Not the comments that I got, but how I felt. And genuinely, I loved cosplay. I loved everything about cosplay. But then I didn't. And not all of it is because of, the internet. A lot of it is, myself, kind of internalized feelings about it and just kind of feeling burnt out. Like I said, I quit cosplaying around the pandemic. Like, mental health was not good for a lot of people around that time. I will give you the biggest tip that I have learned as a content creator on the internet, that if someone is mean to you, if they say something mean, delete the comment, block them, report them if it's bad enough. Just take precautions to protect yourself. Please, especially if you are a minor, take precautions to protect yourself. The internet is evil. It is mean. I have never seen so much vileness, so much nastiness in the comment sections before, especially on you, Twitter. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You are horrible. Like, actually, please take precautions to protect yourself. Don't let a wannabe, nobody, no name profile, username 1234567 tell you how to live your life, to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, to tell you that something that you enjoy is cringe. A big reason why I'm making this video is because when I was a teen, I wish someone had told me this. I wish someone had been authentic with me and been real with me and told me, hey, there's always going to be trolls on the internet. There's always going to be mean people on the internet. There's always going to be people who don't like you. That's just how it is. That's how the world works. You're not going to have everybody love you. There's always going to be someone who doesn't like you, and that's okay. Genuinely, they don't even matter. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you enjoy, because that's what should be important, not what user 1234567 thinks about you. Do what you feel is right. For me personally, I want 2025 to be a year of reflection. I want it to be a year where I go back and I learn to re-love stuff that I used to. For example, I'm cosplaying again. I actually changed my vlog channel over to Glitter Diaries because now I'm doing some more stuff with cosplay. Like, I styled a wig, I'm doing cosplay vlogs. It's fun and I enjoy it. I forgot just how much I used to love cosplay. And I've told this before, but genuinely, one of the most just dream-like experiences for me was to be an idol, to be a Kagi idol. And I quit that because I was like, I don't think I'm good enough. There's so many amazing Kagi idols out there. I don't think that I could ever amount to them. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I had so much fun. And so I want to take on a challenge this year of learning to get better at singing, to get better at dancing, and to get over my stage fright because, oh boy, do I have stage fright. It is very bad. Genuinely, I think too many of us are influenced by people online saying that, oh, you do this, so you're obviously cringe. You're a cosplayer, you're cringe. You watch anime, you're cringe. You watch magical girl stuff, you're cringe. You like cartoons and kids shows, you're cringe. When does it even really matter? Everybody has something that they do that's probably cringe. Like, we're all people, we're all humans, that's how it's gonna be, okay? As long as it's not hurting anyone, just do you, be you. Be respectful, but be you. Look at me, Glitter M, coming on here to give you a nice little positive, hopeful message. You're welcome. Be cringe and be free. Okay, bye.